All right. Good morning, black women. All right, so I'm on my way to work, and I was listening to a very good video that was done by Pretty Black Magic in response to the nationwide spread propaganda that the Cheesecake Factory skit has created. Let me just say this, y'all. As black women, you have the power to fight back and push back against all this anti-black woman shit, trying to keep us in poverty and keep us down by constantly trying to make us look like Ebenezer fucking Scrooge or the Grinch who stole Christmas. The way that you're able to economically fight back about these things is, you see that woman that played in that skit, how she wants to be an actress? Well, she's not very bright, because black women are the number one consumers in America. Understand what I'm saying, black women. So that when you go watch that video of Pretty Black Magic's about the Cheesecake Factory woman, you're going to see Roland Martin talking trash. You're going to see Stephen A. Smith talking trash, and the women of The View. Let me tell you something. From that wannabe actress to all those shows I called on TV, they would not be allowed to be on the air or stream online if black women did not support them. So let me tell you something. Starting with these black YouTube dudes on YouTube that are out here trying to keep you in poverty with them by trying to make the whole world believe that we're just the freaking wretch of the world when it comes to women. America has been doing this, tearing down black women's reputation since slavery, making people feel like we are the mules of the world. We're supposed to be the doormat for everybody, and the gatekeeper and the warden of these black male bums out here terrorizing society, who don't know how to be men and can't even compete in a man's world. Let me tell you something. Start with the black dudes first on YouTube. Do not give any of these people money. Not one damn dime. Do not go on their channels and watch whatever it is they got going on. Don't participate in panels, right? As far as those shows are concerned, do not watch their shows. Do not buy their merchandise. If they want to try to make it seem like we as black women don't deserve shit in the world because we're black women, and every other woman deserves the best that life has to fucking offer, and we just supposed to take the shit underneath everybody's shoe and make it seem like it's gold to us, fuck all of them. Because without us participating in this bullshit society, giving all these motherfuckers our money, nobody would be profiting the way they're profiting right now. So if they want to go on out there and do this campaign of, oh, we want to tear black women down because they ain't shit and every other woman in the world is better than them, so be it. You better go get those bitches money, and you better go get those bitches support, because guess what? We off the clock, motherfuckers. We off the clock. Other thing is this, black women, right? I lost my train of thought for a minute because I got so heated. Oh, the other thing with this campaign shit, which is why they're really doing it, all these black males, right? They understand the value of black women more than the rest of society does. So if they don't have us to leech off of, to live with, to take money from, to be cared for like they're grown fucking babies because they can't take care of themselves, they'll be out here in these streets living literally in the curb, raping people, snatching their purses, hitting them in the head with shit, doing all the things that they've been doing in national news. Black women, you need to keep abreast of what's happening to each other. Start reading every black newspaper and news outlet and online streaming systems to tell you what's going on with the rest of the black people in America. And black women, start putting up your own websites, okay? It's easy to do. Some of them only cost like $6 a month. Start putting up your own websites to provide information to black women. Because what YouTube and the rest of the world is trying to do is they trying to silence us and keep us in a permanent underclass of poverty. And the reason you see all of these attacks launched on us so much is simply because we are pulling up out of the shit. We're getting up out of the muck and the mire. More black women are going to college. They're getting jobs that are sustaining them, where they can take care of themselves, their babies, and they don't have to ask nobody for help. That's scary as fuck to America, because they always rely on us to keep the poor black nigga in check, okay? So when you don't have that, you have an upset in the economy. And what they want is, don't forget. I didn't mean to say don't remember, I meant to say don't forget. By 2030, they need you to be so broken down with so low self-esteem that you are 50% unemployed of America, so that by 2050, you're at zero income. But if you out here killing it the way we doing it, despite all the ignorant motherfuckers online like RWS hashtag exposed who does not know what the fuck she's talking about, when you're in all these big cities like mine and even small ones, and all the black women are basically working for the city, state, federal, or they have secure jobs where they could be there for the next 20, 30 years and retire with a good pension. They have the ability through their union to buy a home, do certain things. This is the shit they don't like. Because it's not about the small minority of us who are the CEOs and the great entrepreneurs. It's about the collective of us, right? That are out here like me and everybody else that works with me, from young girls that are 18 to women, mature women who are like women at my job 70 something. Because what young idiots like RWS Hash Exposed doesn't know is that the government changed the rules. You got to be out here working now till you almost fucking 80 to retire, to live at a standard where you're not eating cat food and shit and struggling to pay your bills. So this is why so many black women, like myself included, are still out here working, grinding every fucking day, because when I retire, I want to be able to roll over in my fucking bed every day and night and not worry about lights, rent, or any fucking thing, okay? So this is why they have such an issue with you, black women, and they need to keep this propaganda going about how you ain't shit, no other man should like you, want you. It's because you're valuable. And if they taint your image, they believe, in other men's eyes, then you don't get out of the ghetto, so they think. And you're not allowed to have a life of luxury with other men who will, once they start dealing with you, clearly understand that all the shit they heard about you was just that bullshit, right? So they do all this stuff, y'all, on purpose, because they don't want you to get up above the black male. America has been doing that to black women for the longest time. Ever since, Reconstruction of the South, and they created the Freedmen's Bureau. Have you ever noticed how in history, when you really know history, the majority of that stuff in the past, up to 1877, was all about black males. Nothing included black women. And then when the white bitches got upset because white men were including black males, they stopped it for all of us. So black women have always had to fight to stand, to be recognized, and to get whatever they got for themselves on their own. You don't think people understand that's a trait of resiliency in you that these other women in this planet don't have? You don't think they don't see that? They definitely do see that. And they go out of their way to crush that, because check this out, right? The first time that you and me realize, really realize it to the heart and soul, right? When black women collectively come together and we move through this country cohesively, the way that the Jews do, right? Where we use all of the steps in Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson, and we actually use those techniques to ensure that we have empowerment through a political stance and an economic stance. We wrote our own book, and we are no longer a permanent underclass. That's the shit they try to keep you from understanding. So that's why it's so important to allow silly shit like this cheesecake black woman to go viral, because it paints black women in a bad light. And it also gives a dual message. It not only paints us in a bad light, but it projects the message of, who the fuck do you think you are, black woman? You don't have a choice of having nice things in life. Fuck you. You don't get the same option as other women to say, I have an opinion. I have the right to choose where the fuck I want somebody to take me, what I like or don't like, and I have a right not to be judged and be downgraded and dehumanized for exercising that fucking right, because I'm a grown woman and I'm a human being like every other fucking woman on the face of this damn planet. So it's the duality, you understand? And it's the ambiguity of the message where it is beating you in the head on many levels. Black women, you ain't shit. You're not supposed to believe you ain't shit, and you're not supposed to get shit. But check it out, right? We don't give a fuck about your opinion about us. We don't care if you don't want nothing for us. Guess what? We gonna fucking take it. Because you ain't stopping us from doing shit. Not a goddamn thing. If I want another type man out here, like I already have, I will continue to do that. If I do not ever want to deal with a black male, I will do that. I don't have to marry them. I don't have to date them. And young black women, do not have children with them. Take your ass to school, get a job or a career that sustains you for the rest of your life. Do not listen to that bullshit RWS hashtag was exposed was saying on her live about how everything is so negative towards you in the world. You have no opportunities, no advantages, because that's bullshit. There are tons of programs out here for you, tons of grants, tons of things for you to do, so that if you wanted to do something different in your life, being the first person to change the way your family does things, or just forget them, you want something for yourself, you have to learn how to find that shit. I'll tell you a hint. Whenever you want money for anything you need in life, you want to start a business, you want to go to school, right? You want to be part of governmental programs. Wherever you live as a black woman in this country, you go to the United States Black Chamber of Commerce. They have the United States Black Chamber of Commerce for the nation, and then they have the Chamber of Commerce locally for every single state. In that Chamber of Commerce, you have money for school, starting a business, buying a house, any fucking thing you want. Know something. When these immigrants come here, they go take advantage of our programs. So it's about time you young black women get your ass out there and start taking care of your programs, okay? I'm trying to think of the governmental source that you could go to. I gotta look it up, because there's actually a federal directory, right, in the government that tells you about every single minority and underrepresented program in all of America. I'm gonna find it and I'll let you know, because once you know that, you just go online, go in there to whatever state you live in, find out the information you want to find out, and then apply to it, because that's how that works, okay? So don't ever think that when you hear a lot of these young, dumb, uneducated, got a problem with older black women like RWS hashtag exposed. She must have had some really bad women in her life, okay? When you hear them always pumping all that negativity about how, yeah, you being used by America. Yes, you are. But guess what? America has never been able to stop black women from growing, progressing, and taking care of their families. You know what was doing that? Black women's lack of standing up, putting their fucking foot down, not dealing with the black male, and having high self-esteem. When you have high self-esteem, you don't let nobody play over you. You don't take no shit from nobody, right? And you don't end up a teenage mother like homegirl that got so much to say about everybody else and how black women are so helpless and hopeless. Sometimes y'all need to listen to the message within the message that these people are giving you, because let me tell you something. I don't feel no need to compete with any young woman like she was telling you, or have any animosity towards young women, because I got 4 daughters. You hear me? The oldest one is 34. I got 4 daughters. And let me tell you something. Everything I ever wanted in my life, I made sure they got, and more. So All that narrative shit that my subscriber Manage was pointing out on the last video I did or last live I did is real. Like, you young women, you gotta stop. Get off that bullshit that Real Talk with Yanni and the rest of them are trying to push. We not your fucking enemy. Not at all. Now, you may have some people you know that are your enemy, but collectively, when it's black women like me and others in the workforce or in life, on YouTube or whatever, trying to give you jewels of life, ain't nobody trying to infantile you. You are a woman just as much as I am, but you don't have all the years I have, right? And if I have already gone and done something before you, you would be a fucking fool not to listen to the advice and not to take the pointers on how to do what I did and more. That's the message that chick that hasn't gotten, because clearly nobody has done it for her. All right? Now, because this is YouTube, I can't really go out of my way and honestly show you all of the progress my daughters have made. But believe me, they don't need a man in their life to do shit. They have them, but I made sure that they have their own money. They have everything they need to take care of themselves, because life is not about motherfuckers sitting around waiting for people to give you something. That's not it. So for all those women that are telling you that, Shira 7, you're going to have a fucked up life listening to her, okay? And you could take it or not. Do what you want with it, but you got to understand that they're out to attack you because you're moving in droves throughout America, leaving the black male. They don't want that. You saw that white professor chick, I forget her name, but I did the short where she was trying to convince black women of the fact that if you do not date and deal with these loser-ass niggas, they're going to be out here terrorizing society. Guess what? That's on society. I guess y'all better find a way to deal with them motherfuckers, right? And they will. Because they're terrorizing more states and more cities than ever before. And now you see them getting ready to gear up to go get their ass. If you watch the news, you'll see it's coming, right? And they're going to use this war as a distraction to do what they need to do. I really don't give a fuck. Because if you ever notice, right? They always go out of their way to promote all this propaganda, tearing down black women's image and their reputation. But in the same breath, none of them ever talk about how these black males are killing black women and children. And that is the majority of the reason why we don't want to deal with them. Besides the fact that they don't got no money to be in a household to take care of any bills, and they don't have the emotional intelligence to deal with a wife, children, a family, and a household. They just fucking ignorant. They raise themselves to be that way. They socialize themselves to be that way, and they just a lost fucking cause. Black women, do yourself a favor. Stay in college, right? Do the things you need to do in life so that you stay from around them completely, like I just did. I just seen this fucking bum in a suit going into the subway. I don't need to be over there while he's there. I can't stand the sight or presence of them, okay? And you should get to the same point, because they mean you no good. And they have nothing but hatred for you that they don't have even for the fucking white man who caused all these situations for all the people in America. So, you know what? Black women, start uniting. Put all that silly bullshit to the side where you worrying about competing against a motherfucker that ain't worrying about competing with you. Come together, create a sisterhood, a solidarity, buddy up, double up, start buying houses, start getting what you need out of life so that you get out of poverty and you stay out. Because with all these new people coming into America, they looking to stand on your fucking backs, and the government is going to help them. So you know what you do? Fight back with education, higher employment, a community you build with women you could trust, and tell them, fuck you. You never going to keep us as a permanent underclass. I got to get in this subway, but I'm going to end up doing a live on this because I'm really tired of this shit. Funny how none of the things that are positive towards black women ever go viral. And that's a lot on the part of black women. When you see videos like mine and other black women's who are actually speaking positively about the things that are really impacting us in the black community, all black women need to click on that shit, share it, the same way we did the black women the Black Girl Follow train. Do the same thing, because our voices need to be heard as well. Have a good day, Black women. Smooches. Buse, buse.